Alright, hello, welcome to the video guys. We're going to be doing a session in the Panhard AMD 178B. Most people just call it the AMD 178B, but this vehicle is basically your first wheeled vehicle in the French tech tree, and in fact it is. It starts at tier 6, and then you get to the EBR Hotchkiss, you get the links EBR 90, EBR 105. I played up to the Lynx 6x6 or whatever it is on my old account years ago, guys. I'm talking years ago, like when they first introduced these vehicles. And I don't think on my YouTube channel I've ever shown a wheeled vehicle. I have refused to go down this line because I'm not a fan of the wheeled vehicles, but I did finally purchase this vehicle. I used a lot of my free experience to go ahead and basically set this thing up so that it has the max gun and all that. The only thing we don't have is the radio. And we don't even have field modification yet, but I feel like on tier 6 it's not as vital as it is on like 8 and above and stuff like that. But I am running this thing with recon and situational awareness, and then we have concealment and the snapshot and smooth ride. But I wanted to highlight, before we go into the battle, I'm running recon, situational awareness, both at 100%, optics in the scouting slot, vents, optical calibration, rations, and this all of this in total is getting us only 387 view range. So this is where this vehicle is not doing well, is in the view range category. You can get this a little higher with Brothers in Arms and throwing vents probably in this slot and then running like bounty optics or something. You might be able to get to a little over 400, but I'm telling you the view range is not good on this vehicle, but there's a reason for that. It's pretty balanced in my opinion. This vehicle is a wheeled vehicle, obviously. It has unrealistic turning ratio. It's able to do these wild little U-turns and stuff, so it kind of has to be balanced in that sense. However, I will say that the top gun on this vehicle is pretty good. The dispersion is not great, but the aiming time is really good for this vehicle, and it's also pretty good on the move. I think they did nerf that a little bit, but it still also feels pretty good on the move. And look at the gun depression, -12. Like, that's not bad at all, man. The shell velocity I don't think is great, but I'm telling you the HE has decent pen. Like, the gun on this thing is going to work, the top gun. It's going to work for you pretty well. And I feel like it's kind of how you have to play this vehicle. Now, we're going to probably play 3 games, but again, this requires a different play style. You can't passive scout with this vehicle because if you look in the standard equipment and whatever any equipment, you cannot run binocs on this vehicle. So you can see here we do not have binocs, we have vents, and we have optics, and I'm running it with a low noise exhaust. I don't know what else to really put in this slot, but to me, I feel like the low noise exhaust is still going to work decent, because it's getting me 35% concealment here, and if we had max concealment, let's just take a look and we'll throw it on right now. We would be close to actually 40% concealment with this vehicle. So to me, that is not bad at all. I find that to be actually very good for this wheeled vehicle. You would think that the concealment wouldn't be as great either. They might nerf that, but honestly, this is the worst wheeled vehicle in the game. Like, this tank will only go the speed of other light tanks pretty much. Once you get up to like the Lynx, that's where it starts to get a little more fun. You start doing about 75 kilometers an hour or something of that sort. Let's take a look at the Lynx's top speed here. If we look at this vehicle, you can see that it has a top speed of 80 kilometers an hour actually on this mode, right? You have to change the mode. But yeah, this AMD unfortunately only has about 66 or something like that, 65. However, another thing to keep in mind is you do have really good reverse speed as well. So it's just something else to note, guys. You know, the mobility that these things have kind of makes them OP if everything else were the same as another light tank, right? Like, if we had like 450 view range and stuff, that would just be ridiculous. So anyway, I think we've touched on this vehicle enough at the start. Let's go ahead and get into the battles, guys, and we'll see what's going on here. Again, these vehicles require a very specific playstyle. It is not my playstyle at all. I have never played wheelies, really. I played them a little bit on my old account, but I do not really know these vehicles too well. And in fact, I'm just noticing we're on the SA server. You guys see this? SA. So let me just disconnect real quick and swap over to the central. I don't know why it does this. It's just when you go in here and you just select automatic, like that's usually what the server does for you. It will sometimes put you on the SA server for whatever reason. So it's just something you have to watch. And I find myself ending up on the SA server quite a bit. But anyway, guys, the gun is pretty important on this vehicle, and you have to always keep in mind that the HE has decent pen, so that's something else to just remember all these things when you play this vehicle. Try and work its strengths, because the view range is just not satisfactory in a lot of cases. So, but again, I might not play this thing very well. I don't really play wheeled vehicles, so we're going to see what I can do here. But they just have a very, very unique playstyle, guys. Once you get up into like the links, maybe maybe you have to get up to like the EBR 90. Then you start getting enough view range where you can passive scout. But at this tier, this specific vehicle, the AMD, it's very, very difficult to passive scout because you just don't have the view range for it, right? You don't have the view range, so I think what I'm going to do here is start going over to the west side of this map, and the MT25, maybe the 5916, will try and take this passive scouting location. What I want to do is try to counter the Leopard, the MT25, the other MT25, and possibly even the AMD. There's 4 light tanks on the team, so I want to try and make some sort of active scout run right through here. So I'm just going to do something like this. There's the MT. And kind of just turn here, and you see how slow this thing is? Like, it's very... See, to me, like, the Lynx or the EBR 90 would be able to make a pass like that much, much easier. But unfortunately, this thing is not really doing it that fast. So we take half of our HP and damage, and now I'm just going to be a little bit more passive about this. I want to come back and maybe see if we can do some pokes where the ELC is, perhaps. But this is kind of how this vehicle has to be played, man. You got to make like initial scout runs and stuff. And what I find is that I think a lot of people try and bite off more than they can chew, so to speak, with this vehicle, and they end up getting into trouble too fast. So I now just want to be kind of passive about this. I'm going to wait for the AMD to maybe poke. Hopefully somebody else can light him, and he pokes this, and then we have the HE to hit him. And I think we're in an area too where we might be able to actually spot something, like maybe crossing or something, but the view range is kind of lacking quite a bit. So but we'll see, guys. Whatever my performance is in this vehicle, I'm just going to go ahead and post the video because I have very, very little experience in these vehicles. The only experience I have in them is really watching other people play them. So looks like we have T67 right here. Okay. Just going to back away from this area. I don't really like what's going on here. We do kind of have some shots here at the T1 Heavy if he's going to notice them. Let's see. See, because of the reverse speed of this vehicle, you can actually kind of dodge and get away from enemy fire. Just trying to avoid Artie, kind of fool Artie a little bit here. And look at the reverse speed, man. Like, this is what's really cool about this vehicle, is you can do the same speed practically in reverse. Exactly, actually. I think the acceleration is a little less, but you can go very quick in reverse, and it really, really helps get you out of sticky situations, in my opinion. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to take mid anymore. I think I'd rather just run away from this area. Because I'm not liking that they have like MT25 and AMD up here and there's really no one else except the M4A1. And I'm at 300 hit points, so I have to be very cautious with this. And this is kind of something you need to do in this vehicle, man. It's very tricky. You kind of have to like just try and use the gun and stuff, and just remain passive when you can, in my opinion. If you have to, right? Again, I'm telling you guys this is an active scout vehicle, but you don't want to just YOLO out. Kind of just want to feel things out, and the mid is not looking great, and the M4A1 is a one-shot himself, so. He's getting some good shots in here, though. What I'm waiting for, guys, is I'm waiting to see the MT25 or the AMD make pressure in this area towards the M4A1. If they're going to do that, then we will have shots with the HE. In fact, I'm going to load it right now. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for these guys to make pressure on the M4A1 because then we can back him up. But I don't want to go into this area and get killed myself yet. We kind of have to wait for the game to progress a little more before we're going to make any like aggressive plays here, I think. Let's give it another like 30 seconds or a minute and see what else happens if the MT25 or the AMD get lit somewhere else on the map. Okay, here's AMD. Unfortunately, he went around the far side there, but we are able to get one HE shell into this guy. I'm not lit here. This guy doesn't have very good view range. I know that because I don't. There we go. There's one penning. And I think at this point it's going to be my job to go after this guy. I'm going to hope I don't take shots from the MT25, but I probably will. But at this point, we have to try and eliminate this guy from the game. It's just the case. We're going to turn on him like this. We're going to clean him up from behind. And now MT25 kind of has shots here. I'm going to try and duck out of the way. Get to this rock right here. Maybe this one. I want to keep moving around. Okay, and we know that he's still in the mid, so he kind of gave away his position. There he is. And I think now we can make a play to move forward. And you see how I'm doing this, guys? I'm just kind of feeling it out. I'm being very passive about the situation. The AMD made an aggressive play to try and run all the way to spot my RD and stuff, and it didn't work out for him. And this is what I mean with this vehicle, man. It's got a very unique playstyle, especially the tier 6, because you don't have a lot of view range, but you also have like not enough speed, in my opinion, either. So smack shot into the MT25, and now we can get aggressive. Check this out, guys. Now we can get aggressive. If we die here, it's fine. But look how quick this tank is able to like make these wild turns, right? So you just want to keep moving laterally. If we move laterally, it's tough for people to hit you, and you can see how this guy is messing up like all his shots on me, right? And we're just running around, like that's all we're doing. And as you get up in the tiers, they start moving even faster, right? So this guy still looks like he might be trying to target me, and you just want to keep moving laterally. You want to dance around a little bit. It's very easy to do with the wheeled vehicles. And we'll get an APCR shell into this guy. And once you move up the tiers, guys, again, you have quicker turn radius speed. You have quicker speed in general, right? So these are things to note. Go for an HE shell on the RD. There we go. And now Leopard is up here. And this is going to be the game, guys. We did 1,290 damage, 366 assists, and we're just using the HE as effectively as we can. And this is something to note about this vehicle. Like I said, the 75 millimeters of penetration on the HE. You got to know when you can use that to your advantage. So we're going to come in here, smack the Leopard as he comes around the corner here. There we go. We'll just hit this guy, ram him. That's my game. Like, we only had 33 more damage we could have done in this game anyway. And someone should be able to clean this guy up. They can hit him, and there we go. Did almost 1,400 damage, 366 assist. That's how I think you need to play this vehicle, guys. What we did for the first pass, I feel like that's 75% of players that play the AMD 178B are going to continue to try and make those passes. You make one initial pass and then feel out the map, feel out the game, see what's going on, encounter people as you need, right? So there's Fisherman's Bay, a pretty good game, I would say so. Again, I've played no battles today, so we didn't even warm up at all, but a really, really good game. Our first game was about the same in damage, so I think we're doing very, very well. I don't think we're going to keep that much damage as a score overall, because we're probably going to get into like tier 7 or 8 games, and that's where it becomes more tricky, right? But we'll see what happens here. And in a situation where you get, like, this is a decent map, I think, as well. Definitely for a light tank, maybe not for the AMD, but if you do get a map like Ensk, I think that's when you really have to just use the gun on this thing, and you can just poke around buildings and stuff like that, and almost play it like a medium or something, you know. When you get up to even the Hotchkiss, that's when you can start doing those really aggressive passes, but kind of tough to do in the AMD. So I think what I want to do in this vehicle is, rather than come down into the middle of the field, like I normally like to passive scout that location, the T-52, really any light tank, is more suited for that. But with this vehicle, we have to get a little bit closer with 384 meters of view range. What is this saying? Something about Twitch. So what I want to do is come up to this area, and I think this could be tricky. But I think we can do something like this. This is really aggressive play, guys, but yeah, it's already spotted here by AMD. Okay, interesting. He's missing. Beautiful. There we go. Now we just got to be safe from the mid. T-34 was over there. So we'll do something like this. And there you go. He's dead. And this is why I don't YOLO in this vehicle, guys. You know, this guy got really aggressive. He throws his tank out right next to mine, and that's not a good play to make, in my opinion. Now we just have to hope for some support here. Trying to get some speed so I can make a quick pass here. And yeah, it's really difficult, guys, because this thing is it's not very good at making those passes that the higher tier wheeled vehicles are good at, so. But what it can do really well is do like little ridge poking like this, because see how quick the reverse is? Like, you can back down so fast, you kind of have to be quick about it. I think these tanks are very, very good for players that are very fast with, you know, like using your fingers very quickly on the WASD keys and stuff like that. If Tiger P continues to back up, we'll have a shot at him. We're just sitting here, we're making sure that no one pokes this area and stuff. Alright, I think at this point, because we're sending so many people this way, I'd like to do something like this. I like to come up here, hopefully CS doesn't light me here. And I like to do what this P43 is kind of doing, except we're going to make a pass doing it like that. Spot Achilles over there, there we go. And just use our quick turning speed to come back down and get out of here. But at least we give the team information on where the Achilles is, right? So let's continue on. We're going to try and smack a shot into the Hellcat, but it looks like they're already doing so. We'll load some APs here, and now we can come up like this, I think. We can start flanking these guys, I think, at this point. I think the Achilles has left. I don't think he'll light me from here. And if we get to like right here, we'll have shots on these guys. Like where the E25 is, I think we can do something like this. Get some shots on the IS. Okay. Alright, let's move up with the T-50. We'll take standard rounds for now. And we just continue using our mobility to get around the enemy team, guys. Try and find this Achilles, perhaps. Who else is unspotted? Just the Artie? And I'm thinking we can now take a spot like this. Like, we'll just continue on, use our mobility. Okay, I'm lit here. There's the Achilles. I think we can stay safe from this guy while taking a shot at the AT-8. Okay, here he's coming right here. Just use that quick mobility and aiming time and all that. And this guy is showing me his butt, so I think we can pen him with HE. We can. We're just going to shoot an HE at this guy because that's what I got loaded. And look at that, even the side of the VK we're penning, right guys? So we won't pen him with that though. Okay. Okay, now it's just the SU-8. And you see we've worked our way around the entire map again. We only lost about a third of our HP, and that's what this tank is about, man. You just really have to feel out the game, in my opinion. I think that's how you have to play this tank, guys. Just really have to feel the game out and kind of understand what you're safe to do and what you're not safe to do. So, beautiful. 1,000 damage even, and we got 123 spotting. So, I think it's, if I do mark this vehicle, a lot of it is going to come from the damage. Just using the gun, and you just use the mobility and you ridge poke, and you just have to kind of, again guys, it's really just feeling out all the situations that I'm finding myself in. Like the last time I played this vehicle was years ago. So another decent game, and let's get into a third. And I think the maps is another big thing, right? Like we got Westfield and then this map. And I think that's actually a really good map rotation for this vehicle. Even Prokhorovka would be very challenging with this vehicle, I think, because you just don't have the view range, you know? You almost have to play this thing like a very mobile medium tank or something like that. And just use the mobility when you have to use it, right? Because it's just a worse version of everything else in its tech tree. But the expected values are very low for this vehicle. I'll probably post this video after I post the video of my first game in this vehicle that we had. And I'll say it again, guys, really with this tank, the expected values are very, very low. And I just think it's because people are way too aggressive in it. And I use skill for LT, use index page, and on the index page you can actually see how low those values are, and I showed it in the video. So I also noticed that the queue time is a little bit longer with these vehicles, simply because you're only allowed one wheeled vehicle in a game. Could even be possible that you're allowed two wheeled vehicles, but each enemy team, or each team, has to be balanced with the amount of wheeled vehicles. So if I have a wheeled vehicle, then there has to be an enemy AMD 178B. So I think I'm just going to take a standard location here again, guys. I would really like to come to this area of the map, and I think we'll have just enough view range to make this work. With optical calibration and all, I think we can still make this location work. And we have the dunes over here where we can spot a lot easier with a wheeled vehicle. thinking making passes wouldn't be that difficult. This is another tier 6 game, so we've gotten up to a tier 7 game, right? We've gotten 5-6, and then we got, I think it was 6-7, and then another 5-6. So we're lucky that we haven't seen the 8s. When you do see tier 8s, guys, good luck. But yeah, that's all I can say. Unless this thing has preferential matchmaking, and I'm unaware of that. But okay, we'll just load APCRs here. I'm not sure what I'm going to encounter. Okay, there's another AMD. This guy's going for a tour. He's going for a stroll. Not sure what he's doing. This is a very aggressive play. I think one thing this tank is very good at doing is dodging arty shells because of its reverse speed as well. Okay, spot the P43, and there's a lot of people poking up in this area. Try for a quick shot. We don't really have the gun depression, but we are getting the spot. And we're close enough to make this work, right guys? We just keep staying on the move. We're fooling arty. We don't want arty to get a shot to us. Here comes AMD. Try for a quick shot, it misses. And one thing you don't want to do, guys, is run into the red line, because then you have to reverse to get out. Like, it's something that AMD just did, and something I like to note. This guy is getting way too aggressive here. He's going to pay the price for it, and we're getting 469 spotting. We don't have any damage yet, guys, but the game is going okay so far, right? I have nothing to complain about. Here's the VK. Get 144 into him there. That's another one, 158. And 300 damage, just like that, guys. So these guys are making very stupid pokes, and I'm not gonna lie, like, this is very uncommon, guys. I think there's just a lot of bad players on tonight for whatever reason. It's Monday night. I don't think I normally play around these times. I did take off from work today, but this is kind of a weird situation going on here right now. So I'm gonna wait to get unlit, make sure I'm unlit here. I'm gonna poke this and immediately come back down. We spot the M4. Hopefully someone will get shots into the M4. There we go, arty, people are getting shots into him, more spotting damage. And again, this tank is so good at making these pokes because the reverse speed is insane, right? You can just poke up and immediately come back down. You don't even have to make the pass, right? So spot the ram, come back down. Maybe we'll make like a reverse pass like this. Spot the super chaffee, come right back over. And look at that, man, like the suspension on this thing and everything, like look at that. It's just a reverse pass, guys. And yeah, that's what this tank is good at doing. It's what it's capable of doing. So now Super Chaffee's going to want to poke this. I'm going to come up really close because I want the Super Chaffee to come up like this. Okay, now we're going to pass by him. We're able to do this very quickly because of the wheels, right? And we're going to come up like this. We're going to back down quickly. I'm just going to do one of these to fool arty. Okay. Now we're going to continue on our way. We spot the ram there again, it looks like. And yeah, sessions are going pretty well in this thing. I can't complain, guys. The ram should spot me from here. Waiting for people to get shots into this guy. If he was much lower on HP, I'd probably try and YOLO this guy. But anyway, I think we're going to come in like this now. And because we have the suspension, right, the wheels, I'm not really concerned. And it's very difficult to like flip these things as well, in my opinion. So now we can just kind of come up like this, like we spot the arty, come right back over, make this nice sharp turn, wait for this guy to get here, the T-34, and then we can push into this guy. In fact, I'm going to load HE, and I'm just going to go all the way past this guy while he's targeting my T-34. Just watching the Jackson here. Okay, I don't think I can pen this guy. The HE? Yeah, so let's load the standards. We'll go for this guy's side right here. Okay, he's turning. Let's get him right here. Finding a flat piece there. We're going to go to HE's. I'm going to come all the way to this corner so I have a good angle. Okay. Here's AMD. Backing up, backing up. Not letting this guy in front or behind us, rather. Keeping that strong angle. Watching the arty. Back up again. Just going to fool the arty. Come up like this. Here we go. Getting an HE into the arty. Okay, we'll clean up the arty. Jackson is left. Jackson's gonna die. There we go. And that's the game, guys. 1,260 damage, 1130 assist. So, really, this session for me with this vehicle, I would say, was above average, actually. Again, it's tier 6, so I have pretty high expectations at this tier. But the AMD is one of those vehicles that I am not used to at all. It's a very weird tank. It's a very weird playstyle, but I think we made it work really, really well here. Again, I don't think this thing has like preferential matchmaking or anything, but we did get a 6-7 game and then 2 5-6 games. So I think that really, really helps. This was a first-class game. We're top by experience here. Looks like we were even, what, second by damage here, which is very good. And yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say, guys. I mean, you've seen it all. You've seen how this vehicle is working. You do have to really milk the spotting out of this. Like, try and set this thing up as much as you can for spotting to get a good view range here. And that's it, guys. I have nothing more to really say about this vehicle. 3 battles, we did 1,219 damage and 611 assist. And this combined is like 1,900 combined, just close to 1,900 combined. And to 3-mark this vehicle, you only need 1,300 combined. So I hope this helps you. You can kind of see how we did things here. I think I played it pretty damn well. And again, even if you're a decent player, you should find that two marking this vehicle is not that difficult. I mean, you don't even need 1,000 combined to 2-mark this vehicle. So there you go. There's the AMD 178B. I think we're really showing its strengths here. Again, we have this thing fully loaded out, so keep that in mind. Actually, we do now that I'm buying this, right? So buy this, sell the replaced one. We have the max radio. I don't even think we really needed it. And now we can get into the field modifications, right? So how much do I have to spare here? We'll just do 1, and then we'll keep going with this vehicle, guys. But I hope that this helps you out if you're struggling with this vehicle. I will probably 3-mark this thing, but literally after 4 battles, guys, I'm already at 25% on the mark. And I'm telling you, I am not good with wheeled vehicles. I'm telling you, like, the expected values are low. You can do very well in this tank. I have faith in all you guys. You will be fine in this vehicle. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.